Good evening, and welcome to the Filmmaker interviews for the 23rd Annual Garden State Film Festival. My name is Mike Cassidy, and I will be your host for the evening, and I have the pleasure of speaking with the director and producer of Possibilities, Bill Sarine. Bill, how's it going?
It's great, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah, thanks for making the time to speak with me. I'm really excited to talk to you about your film.
Yeah, and we're really excited to be part of the Garden State Film Festival. That's a thrill.
We're glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about your film.
Yeah, so Possibilities was produced with the American Foundation for the Blind, and it was sort of a way of looking at Helen Keller's legacy, but kind of saying, she carved this big path. What have we done with that legacy? Where are we at today? And it was a real fun opportunity to go talk about the joys, the struggles, the challenges, the accomplishments of people living with vision loss. And we not only dove into that and got some amazing, feedback from folks all over the place, but we also decided to chart some new territory and create a film that was the first film ever to use open audio description. So for folks who don't know, audio description is the way that blind people watch a movie. It kind of describes everything. It's not dialogue. And typically that's an extra track, and it's sort of a backwards process where, at the end of post, they'll go in and kind of back into the time code. And we said, what if we were more deliberate about that? What if we cared about all audiences right up front and kind of created this bonding experience where we're all watching the same movie together? And so we went in with that, and it sounded like a fun idea at the front, and then it turned out to be a huge challenge, but we're really glad we did it.
Of course, usually how it goes. So could you talk a little bit more about it being the first feature film that allows for open audio?
Yeah. So again, audio description is typically this extra track. When a blind person or a person with vision impairment goes into a theater, they usually get those headphones or something, and they plug into the seat. And a lot of times the connection is not great, and it doesn't sound too good. But at least they're able to access the film. Often at home, when you're watching the film on streaming or on television, there's an extra thing you can put on, just like you put on subtitles that actually does the audio description. But again, quality can vary and all that. So we really thought, what if we involve the audio description team in production, in post, so that they were kind of in lockstep with us the whole time. And normally on a documentary, I think you're like cutting to B-roll and cutting to still photos, things like that, while you have talking heads on screen. We didn't really, because we're doing deliberate audio description, we didn't want anybody to miss that. So we had to be really, really deliberate about where we were going to put B-roll and where we're going to put images, because we had to figure out how is the pacing of that going to work out. And that was a lot of fun to try and get through that.
Yeah, sounds like it. And I had in my notes that your cast and crew is pretty special. It was filled with both blind and sighted people.
Yeah. So again, that was, I think part of this idea was, hey, let's walk the walk. We're advocating for people with vision loss and folks with disabilities. So how can we make them, part of this? It seems disingenuous to say all that and then not have a diverse crew. So, some of these folks were virtual, some were in person, but aside from just the audio description producer, who's a friend of mine named Roy Samuelson, aside from him, everyone else on the audio description team was blind. We have 3 blind producers on this movie. We have a blind sound designer. We have a blind composer. We have a blind mixer. So we had a lot of folks working on this film, coming at it from different perspectives, and that to me was amazing. Because there's talented folks everywhere, and it really just shows right up front. When you're talking about diversity in hiring, I think a lot of times disability gets left out of that conversation.
Absolutely.
And so, especially in the film industry, I think we think of film as a very visual medium, which of course it is. That's the way a lot of people access it. But it can have the opportunity to be a much bigger conversation and bring everybody into the room.
Absolutely. So why did you choose to submit to the Garden State Film Festival?
I'm a Jersey boy, so it's a Garden State Film Festival. I think it's a big festival. It's been around for quite a while. I was born in New Jersey. I lived some primary years there, and then I had a shore house there my whole life with my family. So I just love New Jersey, and I was so excited when we got in because I'm like, I'm just going to be a whole trip down memory lane. Like I'm going to eat everything in the whole state and have a great time.
Of course.
But yeah, we several other folks that are part of the team from our American Foundation for the Blind and our production team also have ties in Jersey, and so a lot of them were really excited about it that we got in. One of our producers lives in New Jersey. Two of our subjects live in New Jersey, so it was a couple others are close by in Maryland, DC, and whatever. So a lot of people are coming in for it.
Jersey pride, I like it.
Yeah.
So you're from the south part of Jersey?
Yes, I was born in Morristown, which is up north.
Oh, gotcha.
And then we had a shore house in Maniloking, which I don't even know if we consider that the south. I'd say it's like the middle. But
do you believe in Central Jersey? This is a very debated topic in the world today.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd say I'm a Central Jersey guy.
I agree with that too. Yeah, that's how I feel as well. Yeah. So are you rooting for the Eagles or are you a Giants fan?
This is a tough one for me because I'm neither. So I did most of my growing up years were in Chicago, so I'm a Bears fan.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Which is it is devastating. I'm comfortable with the loss, but like the Eagles and Kansas City is just kind of like I don't know where to go with that one because Eagles fans are not traditionally that nice.
No.
But I have a lot of good friends from Philadelphia, so I think and I don't know that many people from Kansas, so I might have to root for the Eagles just for that.
I think so too. I had a roommate who was a diehard Eagles fan, so I just want him to be happy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So how long have you been making documentaries and films?
This is my first documentary. I come more from the world of scripted, and this film itself took about 2 years, I guess, to make. So quite a while. I definitely come from the scripted world. I was a studio exec over at Disney for a long time.
Oh wow!
So I've worked on a bunch of films of varying sizes, many of which you would know. But this was I jumped off doing my own thing many years ago and have had a fun opportunity to do just a variety of different projects. But this is my first doc, and I loved it.
Yeah, I think you knocked it out of the park.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So what were some of those? Can you talk about some of those projects you worked on? Or is like you signed an NDA or something with Mickey?
Even if I did, they can't really come after me at this point. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I was on the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films.
No way.
I was on National Treasure 1 and 2, Princess Diaries, and then I was also doing TV kind of at the same time. So shows like 8 Simple Rules and My Wife and Kids and Alias and Desperate Housewives and all kinds of stuff like that. So I've worked probably on the film side, probably about 35 to 40 films that are of pretty significant stature and a bunch of TV shows, like more than I could name.
Yeah, that's a good resume. What you just that's very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice could you give to some filmmakers who want to try and get into the space?
You know, I think this is an awesome time right now for filmmaking in general, and it excites me because I think years ago we had lots of conversations. They seem to center on more around can we or can't we? Like, is this possible? Can we pull this thing off? Is this achievable? Right now, everything's achievable, right? So it's now, as a filmmaker, there's no guardrails at all, and that's great. Like you put smart people in a room with you and just articulate your vision clearly, and there's a way to do everything. Like there's just a way. There's a camera that'll do it. There's a post thing that'll do it. There's an editing solution. There's something in there that'll allow it. So just really be broad about your thinking because it's all possible. Like that's an exciting time right now as a filmmaker. I think when you think like anything you can dream up, you can do.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That's very inspirational advice. Thank you for saying all that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other project coming up?
Yeah, I've got a few scripted things in the works. I've got my first unscripted series that I'm shopping right now that I've got some good interest from at a couple networks. I don't know whether I should pitch that right now or not, but
you totally can if you want. I'm still blown away by Pirates of the Caribbean.
we can, when I see you in person, we'll tell war stories about all that stuff.
I'll hold you to that. I'll hold you to that for sure.
For sure. Yeah. A couple of fun scripted projects that I've got coming up, but also there's an unscripted series that we're shopping right now called Around the World in 80 Dogs. and it's just we go to different countries and learn about the dogs that come from those countries. It was like dogs and travel. I was like, who doesn't love both of those things?
Yeah. Is there like a host for it that travels, or you just look at the dogs?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a host. I definitely wanted to keep it fun. So there's a show called Travel Man on BBC,
Okay.
and I kind of thought like it's a improv comedian who takes weekend trips with other improv comedian friends, and they go to different cities and they'll do a food activity and an outdoor thing and a history thing and whatever. And I thought, well, let's just take away that other improv comedian and insert a dog in each one, and let's just go to different places and do fun stuff. Like let's do some activities, go out to dinner with the dog, whatever. Like just have some fun. At the same time, learn a little bit about the history. But it's travel and dogs. That's good times.
And beat it.
Yeah, I've got a potential host attached to it, so I'm hoping that all goes through. Who's really talented. So we'll knock on wood. We'll see.
Who will remain nameless?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Yeah, we'll say it anyway. So we're shopping it right now with Brian Austin Green from I remember him from 90210.
Wow.
But yeah, he's super nice guy, very fun. As I told him, he's got to be down to clown. I want somebody who's fun in the field and can bring that out of people. And he's definitely that guy. So
I'd say for sure. Yeah. So unfortunately, we are coming to the end of our time together. Bill, I had a great time talking with you. And you mentioned before that you're in LA, and I hope you stay safe and can make it to the festival. You already said that usually my last question is, are you coming to the festival? But you've already told me you're going to tell me all about Disney and stuff when you show up. So
I'm 100% coming. And if you get a chance, anybody who's listening, please go check out American Foundation for the Blind, AFB. They're a great organization. They're doing some great stuff. And their goal with this film, a lot of films are out there trying to make money and like, let's see if we can get a distribution deal and sign it. AFB wants a distribution deal and all that, but really their goal is just, they want everybody to see this movie. They just want people to see it because they want to change perspectives, change minds, and just change the narrative around disability and vision loss. So,
of course, yeah,
check it out.
Definitely. So again, that's Possibilities, Saturday, March 29th, block TA 1010 from 11:45 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bill, once again, I had a great time talking with you, and I can't wait to see you out in Jersey and speak with you in person.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate the time and looking forward to being at Garden State.
Let's go, brother. All right. Have a good night.
Cheers.